Right now, if you get sick, you do one of three things. You go to a pharmacy, you call a doctor, or you Google your symptoms at 2 a.m. and convince yourself you're dying. But for almost all of human history, none of that existed. No pharmacy, no doctor, no hospital, no Google. Just you, your body, and whatever the people around you knew how to do. And somehow, across 300,000 years, humans kept going. We didn't go extinct. We didn't collapse. We made it all the way to here. So what did they actually do when they got sick? The answer is stranger than you think. And honestly, some of it still works. Stick with me. The part that surprises most people doesn't show up until the end. First, you have to understand something nobody really thinks about. Ancient humans didn't get sick the same way we do. Most of the diseases that scare us now, diabetes, heart disease, certain cancers, those mostly came from how we live today. The food, the chairs, the stress. Researchers who studied the bones of hunter-gatherers from thousands of years ago found something interesting. Those bones were strong, their teeth were straight, their joints were clean. When they did get sick, it usually came from one of three things: an injury, an infection, or something they ate that didn't agree with them. That was the world. 3 threats, no hospital. So how did they survive? The first thing they did is the part we forgot. They didn't go anywhere. The medicine came to them. When someone got sick in a small camp of 30 people, every single person knew within an hour. Your grandmother knew, your cousin knew, your best friend knew, and one of them already had a job to do. Anthropologists who studied hunter-gatherer groups still living today found the same pattern in every culture. When someone falls ill, the camp does not leave them alone. Someone stays. Someone brings water. Someone watches through the night. Loneliness, it turns out, is one of the worst things for a sick body. A 2015 study at Brigham Young University looked at thousands of patients and found that loneliness raised the risk of early death by about 26%. That's the same risk as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Your ancestors didn't have antibiotics, but they had something we're slowly losing. They had people who showed up. The second thing they had was the forest, or the savanna, or the river, whatever was around them. Every traditional culture on Earth built up the same kind of library over thousands of years. A library of plants, which ones helped, which ones hurt, which ones to chew, which ones to boil, which ones to never ever touch. And here's what most people miss. A lot of those plants actually worked. Willow bark contains a compound that does the same thing as aspirin. Indigenous people in North America were chewing it for headaches and fevers long before any pharmacy existed. Garlic kills certain bacteria. Honey heals burns and wounds. Modern hospitals still use medical-grade honey today. Even chicken soup has science behind it. Studies have shown it can actually help your immune system when you have a cold. Your grandmother wasn't being old-fashioned. She was running a 300,000-year-old program, and the next part is where it gets surprising. Quick thing before we keep going. If this is making you see your own life a little differently, subscribe. This channel digs into exactly this kind of stuff. The patterns nobody points out, but everybody half feels. Stick around. The next part is where it really shifts. Now, every group also had a specialist. Different cultures used different words for them: healer, shaman, medicine man, wise woman. But the role was the same almost everywhere. This person didn't go to school. They didn't have a license. They learned by watching the person before them for years, sometimes decades. They knew the plants. They knew how to set a broken bone. They knew which wounds to clean and which ones to leave alone. And they knew something else most modern doctors don't always have time for. They knew the patient. They knew your family. They knew what you ate. They knew what kept you up at night. Modern medicine is incredibly powerful, but it often treats a stranger. Ancient medicine treated a neighbor. That difference matters more than people think. Now here's the part that's almost embarrassing in how obvious it is. When ancient humans got sick, they actually rested, not worked from home, not pushed through it, not took something and went to the meeting. They stopped. The camp didn't expect a sick person to gather food. The hunt went on without them. The cooking happened without them. The other 30 people picked up the slack until the sick person was strong again. There was no boss, no paid sick days, no pretending to be fine. Modern research keeps confirming what every ancient culture already knew. Real rest is one of the most powerful medical tools the human body has. Your immune system does most of its repair work while you sleep. We have antibiotics now. We have surgery. We have technology your ancestors couldn't have dreamed of, but we lost the rest. And your body remembers what it was built for. Now here's where it gets weird in a good way. Some of the things ancient humans did sound completely insane, and then modern science checks them out, and they were right. In ancient Egypt, people put moldy bread on infected wounds. It sounds disgusting, but that mold often contained natural antibiotics, similar to penicillin. Penicillin itself was discovered from mold in 1928. In ancient India, doctors performed nose reconstruction surgery using forehead skin more than 2,000 years ago. The technique is still used today. They literally invented it. Indigenous people in the Amazon use over 1,000 different plant compounds for medicine. Pharmaceutical companies have spent decades studying that knowledge and turning some of it into modern drugs. Your ancestors weren't guessing in the dark. They were running experiments, slow, careful, generation after generation. They were paying attention. We didn't invent medicine. We inherited it. But let's be honest about something. A lot of ancient humans died young from things we would handle in 20 minutes today. A bad cut could end a life. Childbirth was dangerous. A simple infection could be fatal. Children especially didn't always make it past 5. That's the trade we don't talk about often enough. We have things they didn't have. Clean water, vaccines, surgery, antibiotics, babies who almost always grow up, mothers who almost always survive birth. These are real wins, massive wins. Nobody serious is suggesting we go back. But that's not the whole story either, because we also lost things they had. And the part nobody likes to admit is we're now sick in ways they almost never were. This is the part I've been building toward. Ancient humans got hurt. They got infections. They got fevers. What they almost never got, based on the bones, based on the records, based on tribes still alive today, was the slow, modern kind of sickness. Chronic fatigue, anxiety that lasts for years, burnout that doesn't go away on vacation, loneliness so deep that doctors now treat it like a medical condition. These are new. Our bodies are still wired for the old world. Sun, movement, real food, real people, real rest. A clear role to play. When those things disappear, the body notices, even if you can't say why. You weren't built to scroll for 8 hours and sit for 10. You weren't built to be alone in a city of millions. You weren't built to push through it. And on some level, every cell in your body knows that. So what did ancient humans actually do when they got sick? They stopped. They were cared for. They were touched. They were known by name. They drank water from someone they loved. They slept under a sky that didn't have a screen in it. And most of them got better. The medicine wasn't only in the plants. The medicine was also in the camp, in the fire, in the people who didn't leave. We have things they didn't have. They had things we lost. The closer you can get your own life to the basics, sleep, sunlight, real movement, a few people who actually know you, the more your body starts doing what it was always built to do. You are still a human being. Your body still remembers, so the next time something feels off, tired, foggy, low, restless, don't just ask, what should I take? Ask the older question, what did my body actually need today that it didn't get? That's the question every ancient human already knew the answer to. We're just the first generation that has to learn it again.